I want to invite you to something special. If you're ready to not just quit drinking, but actually transform your life, join the waitlist for the next round of the Push to 100. It'll be starting on September 12th, and early enrollment will open to the members of the waiting list on August 22nd. I'm only taking 30 people into this round of the Push to 100, so everyone gets individual support from me. Just head to nomorewastedays.co/100 waiting list, and that link is also in the show notes. This will ensure that you can be one of the first people to apply when the doors open. Welcome to another episode of the No More Wasted Days podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Sara.
Well, Heather.
And today, Heather is going to be talking all about how emotional labor isn't free and the hidden cost of always being the strong one, especially in sobriety. And I am excited. When you said always being the strong one, I was like, Heather's talking to me again. So I'm going to let Heather take it away.
All right. So since getting sober, people often assume that I have my life together. And I chuckle for many, many reasons because in many ways I do, but I don't think folks see how often I can be the one that others come to when they're overwhelmed. Now, I do not mean my clients. I do not mean a social work job. I do not mean my daughter. I mean the people in my life that sometimes I don't have the best boundaries with, or the people at the store, or the people like on social media that'll just message, which is great. And I have always been the type of person that people come to for answers, which again, great. And sometimes I get overwhelmed too, the little empathetic soul. And I do hold space and I do listen and I do care. But sometimes I'm just left really drained and feel, to be honest, like no one says like, hey, are you okay? Because I appear so put together, I think, to some people, or grounded or
Yeah.
calm. And Sarah, you know that's 100% true, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you say like calm too, I think about that with you. But, and when you say like, it's not the day makers, it's not my clients, it's not my kids. All those people are my first, right? My
Mhm.
husband. It is I have actually turned off my DMs on TikTok because it became too overwhelming. So people just know they can't message me. Email is always a better way. Like I've had to set those kind of boundaries because it became this like, how can you help me? And I always said, I feel bad, but it is kind of like, here's the tools that I have available for you. Grab those, follow me. But it is kind of that I'm only one person and me and you have real lives, right?
Yeah. And I think for me, it's the people that are in my life, in my personal life, that are not my four quarters,
Mm-hmm.
that thinks, well, Heather knows what to do, or Heather will fix it. Heather will
Yeah.
find a solution. And a lot of those folks I can't avoid. I just have to use really good boundaries. And they haven't tried organically on their own. It's just like, well, Heather will do it. Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, as a kid, I had to read a room for survival mode, right?
Yeah.
Emotional survival. And I knew when to be quiet. I knew when to fix the mood. I knew when to make everyone else feel better. And it got baked in early. So I'm catching myself doing it before I even realize it. So I am accountable in that it does. Yes, Heather will fix it because that's what Heather knows how to do best. And that's a lot of the emotional labor and then the boundaries and then the work.
Mm-hmm. I have found myself being that way to where I feel like I'm the one who always has to make everybody feel like they're happy. And I finally realized like that's not my job. Like happiness is an inside job. And if those people haven't figured it out yet, then that's on them, not on me. And that's been a big part of doing the work and figuring it out for sure. And one thing I have found with my parents living closer now is I'm so much better at saying, sorry, I can't do that. Like, I
Yeah.
want to help you in that area, but I can't. Actually, I need your help. So it's been it's been nice that I've been able to do that and figure it out and just say, that's not something I can do right now. Or even with my sister, who I want to be like, I want to put her there with my four quarters, but when you've got two kids, And a husband, it's like, those are the people right now. And then it's like, and if you guys don't know what your Heather's talking about with the four quarters, it's the, you could have 100 pennies as far as friends, or you could have four quarters. And which one feels more valuable and more manageable when you think about it that way? I don't know about you. I prefer four quarters if I was paying for like a McDonald's Coke.
Yeah. And when you think about emotional labor, people say it a lot, and we all know I like to define things. So to me, it's like an invisible effort of managing emotions, your own and other people.
Hmm.
And we are trying to keep the peace, we're trying to keep connection, we're trying to keep stability, or all the above. And some examples of that is being the emotional check in person for everybody. How are you doing? How are you feeling? How's your head cold? How's your cat? And almost like emotional monitoring too, because we're
Yeah.
tuned to other people's emotion. We're looking for those shifts, consciously usually, and then cleaning up conflict quietly behind the scene. I'm guilty of it
Me too.
and being emotionally available without being emotionally supported. That's
That's a
a hard.
big one.
Yeah. And then emotional labor is unpaid and it's expected and unacknowledged,
Yeah.
especially from women, parents, caregivers, and sober folks, really, because a lot of us support folks in an unpaid capacity, right? We'll, and we should, in my opinion, we should.
Yeah.
We have to utilize really good boundaries or they'll be calling us at 3 o'clock in the morning when they're drunk. And I can tell you one person that's not, and that's me.
Yeah. That
So,
doesn't work with me either.
yes, I tell my clients that, like, nope.
Yeah. If you've been drinking, we're not talking. Sorry.
And I have reasons why that we could talk about on another episode. But,
Yeah.
and then there's the identity of being the strong one. I feel like this has been my entire identity since I quit drinking. Well, really my whole life,
Yeah.
because I had breast cancer right after I quit drinking. So I have been told you're the strongest person I know more times than I can sneeze at. And that may be true. And sometimes, especially when you've been doing this since you were a kid, you're exhausted.
Yeah.
And over time, it becomes your identity. And then when you're trying to embrace your alcohol free life, if you want to step into your own identity, sometimes that can be a little uh, cumbersome.
Yes.
If you're wondering, like, is my identity the strong one? Think about these things I'm getting ready to say. Are you the reliable one? Are you the calm one in the chaos? Are you the one that never needs anything back? You're doing the emotional work. So people assume you don't need support,
Yeah.
step to you, ask you for advice, count on you to stay grounded.
Yeah.
Think about these. And these are not all bad things.
No.
It's like that I just say, is this my whole identity or part a big part of my identity? So how can we shift that? And a quote I really liked was the identity of being the strong one is often a survivor skill, not a personality trait. And I think that that landed a lot with it's a good reminder.
Yeah. I'm definitely, I like being the strong one. Like that, it's kind of my downfall. I'll do it myself. It's so funny because my daughter would say that as a toddler. I'd do it. We both will say it to her sometimes because it was just like her mantra when she was little. I'd do it. I'd do it. And that's how I am. I'm like, I'll just do it. Like, just leave me alone. It's easier if it's just me. I'll get it done. Right. And it is like sometimes it's very true. Sometimes I am like, this is how I like to work. It works better for me. But then there's times where I'm just kind of doing it to almost be stubborn. Like, then I'll just do it. If you're not going to do it, then I'll get it done. And then I usually am the person slowly coming back to my husband going, I could really use your help. Sorry about the little temper tantrum I threw. Uh, but yeah, because I feel like I'm the strong one, I have created this identity for myself and I forget that it's actually okay to ask for help. And that's why I feel really proud of myself this year that I've been able to say, like, it sounds little, but like on Thanksgiving. But at first I was like, well, we can just do it at my house, right? I have the smallest house. Like, we can't sit all the people in my house.
Mhm.
And but in my mind, I'm like, "We can make it work." And then my mom's like, "No, we can just do it at my house, and we'll do this, and we'll do this, and all you need to do is this." And I was like, "Whoa." it was kind of the first Thanksgiving where I didn't have to do everything for the first time since I've been an adult. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing.
Yeah.
But it is those little things to kind of go figure it out so you're not always doing everything. There's no reason for you to be the one doing everything.
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah.
And the cost of always holding it together can it be more expensive to me than actual money.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is if it starts costing my peace, that ain't up for sale. I told my mother that the other day, not to her, it was about something else. And I said, that just ain't up for sale. It's not worth it. And like, if you're holding it together for other people and you start to get really tired, resentful, and you're internally isolating and you feel unseen and like your emotions are too much, difficulty receiving help or identifying your own needs. And I want to say it is completely okay to say, I don't know what I need.
Yeah.
That's a completely valid answer. If you continue to see that theme, this is where it starts getting really expensive. And then the physical toll, the tension, the burnout, the insomnia, the hypervigilance,
Mhm.
and you become so good at coping, no one sees that cost.
Yeah.
Further along we get on our journey, I don't think that some people see the cost because the consequences aren't there for them,
Yeah.
usually.
Yep.
Well, it's not bad about other people, it's just true. So, what do we do about all this? Well, one of my favorite topics, learning how to set boundaries without guilt. So, if we reframe strong to mean choose what we carry, I'm going to choose what I carry today. In other
Yeah.
phrase, this ain't mine. Ain't mine. So, and you practice like little sayings like that. And that could look like, I'm not available for that right now. That's not mine to hold. I need to focus on what I'm feeling first and just start small. Like let messages wait. Practice the divine pause. Revisit days or what have you. Let other people be disappointed.
Yeah.
Let yourself be helped, even if it's awkward.
Yeah, that let others be disappointed and let yourself be helped are 2 for me to always remember. And,
Right.
man, it's hard when I have to disappoint other people, but
I love it. And I have damn sure have been disappointed too. So like it's
yeah.
inevitable, right?
Yeah, and that's what I always tell myself. I'm like, it's not like people are always considering my needs before theirs. So I don't always need to feel like I need to consider my needs before everybody else's. Like it's part of being human is that everything doesn't work out for you. And I think that that's a good one for me to remember when I know I'm going to disappoint somebody. Like, well, I've been disappointed before and I survived. Like,
Yeah, I think if we're intentionally disappointing people, that's one
yeah,
thing. If we're saying, no, I can't help with that right now from a place of integrity and
yes,
honesty, most folks understand that. You
yeah,
just told them the truth,
y-
usually.
yeah,
Letting yourself be helped, even awkward, like it feels strange if you're not used to it. I'm learning to get used to it and it feels awkward.
yeah,
And in sobriety, clarity is a gift. It's not a license for emotional sacrifice. And I say that because I felt like people would really judge really hard me as a drinker, as they should, probably to some degree. I was a dumpster fire. And after you or I got my life together a little bit, I had to realize like this has to be about this. I am clear. I am not here for to solve everybody's problems. Right.
yeah. And I
Well, it's
feel like when oh, sorry.
hard. And I feel harsh even saying that because it's something I'm still practicing.
Yeah. And it can feel like when you first quit drinking, you do wanna help people, and maybe some of that is because you feel guilty for the years of drinking, and so you're like, "Oh, look at me, I can show up for everything now. Like, I'm no longer hungover, I'm no longer drinking, and I'm not gonna say mean things that'll hurt people's feelings and not remember it." Right? So you're like, "Oh, I can do it all." Which I guess is okay in the beginning, but you have to learn that it's like you can't keep going like that or you're gonna forget to help yourself. And I always tell people you're your most important person. You're the only person to be guaranteed to be stuck with for life. So you
Mhm.
got to have a good relationship with yourself first. And gosh, that is so hard, but It's doable. And when you're sober, you can start doing things like setting boundaries and being better at that stuff. I will say that I'm pretty good at setting boundaries with everyone that's outside of my family. I'm not so great within family. I'm not so great even like with my husband or with my kids because sometimes there's even boundaries there that I do need to set. And I forget and I have to come back to this work a lot and go, "Okay, what's most important?"
Yeah. I think too, the most expensive part and the whole point of this for me is I do not want to drink again. And if I am self-sacrificing and being the strong one all the time for things that are not mine to be strong for,
Mhm.
then I'm probably going to drink or fall down into like poor mental health state. It's still part of my bigger goal, and that is to be alcohol free.
Yeah.
So when we're thinking about, the cost of being the strong one, and especially in sobriety, it's important to consider and think about that strength is not never breaking down, right? It's to know when to stop over function. So, listener, I have a question. I have two. What emotional weight are you carrying that isn't yours? What does it look like to stop rescuing people as a way to feel needed? I feel like I should say mic drop. Mic drop.
Right? I think you should. Those are 2 I really want people to journal on those, come back to those and go, "Okay, am I" especially when you're feeling burnt out, this could be a reason why. And maybe it's
Mm.
not, and then you'll find that out. You'll go, "Okay, well, it's not this. I'm not overdoing it in the people pleasing area or the I'm not trying to be the strong one for everybody," right? But,
Right.
man, it's good to know, and it's so good to come back to this stuff all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's summertime. Some of us have more time than others. Some of us don't.
Yep.
Hold to reevaluate where some of us are stretched thin financially and energetically with kids being out of school, and sometimes they're like heavy travel periods. So, what are we carrying that's not ours? What luggage are we pulling around that's not our own? And I saw this affirmation and I loved it. I'm strong and worthy of my emotional energy is not a free resource. Now, tell me you've been a social worker 25 years without telling me social worker for 25 years.
I know. That was one that I had to figure out after I quit teaching. I was like, "Oh, you don't have to help everybody."
And I have
Oof.
to check myself. I have one magnificent friend who I would rather call her and ask her the question than Google it because she was my assistant back in the day at my nonprofit. She literally was the other half of my brain when I was fighting cancer. She gets the way I think.
Mm,
So it is so much easier to call her than Googling it. If it's slightly complex, then it's like, no, don't
yeah.
make her carry the emotional labor of your bullshit because you can't figure out who your retirement carrier is, which I actually did have to text her that yesterday because I could not remember. It took 2 seconds, right? Now I'd been looking for 30 minutes. But if it's like, check yourself too. I can't play like the victim about this all the time because God knows over the past year of my life, I have emotionally dumped all over people. So I have to like check myself too.
Yeah. No, I completely understand. There's even times on Daymakers calls when we open up to the coaching where I have to kind of go, "Whoa, this isn't your
Right.
emotional dump time, Sarah. This is other people's. Like, this is like, use your own coach for that." But
Well,
it's definitely something to watch and to respect in other people, but definitely respect it in yourself. Just become aware. That's the first step. Become aware if this is you. And especially if you're a woman, it's really easy to be like, "Oh, I got it," when you don't
mhm.
got it.
Yeah, you catch yourself saying it. Just notice it. Do not judge it. A lot of
Mhm.
it's automatic. And then
Uh-huh.
think, why am I? Why? And then
Yeah.
just and use it as data and keep doing
Yeah.
the next.
Yes, exactly. Thank you
Well,
so much for this topic.
yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was almost like that little journal. So I appreciate y'all listening and make sure you check out the links in the show notes for the J makers and little one coaching with me. And I would love to hear how this lands with y'all. So if you'd love to drop it in a review on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, that would be all.
Yes.
All right. See you next week. Bye, y'all.